Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for October 2022. We are going to jump right in here, Virgo. And sorry, for some reason I felt like pulling this card, which I didn't want to do, and you have the Page of Wands, so we'll keep that in mind. But we're going to just take a look at your general energies in this first row here. We're going to look at anything unexpected that could be coming in for you in this next row here. And sorry, this whole entire deck is upside down as usual. I don't know. Mercury retrograde. It's like I can't shuffle right side up. In your last row here, we're going to look at any of the good stuff that could be coming in for you. So it doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be positive no matter what. We're also going to pull 5 main themes that you could be dealing with at this during this month here at the end. And on top of that, we are going to pull 3 yes, no, maybe questions at the end. So that'll be that. But you start off here in your first row in your general energies with the Smoke and Mirrors card. It still could be a little bit of lingering confusion. Again, we will be doing mid-monthlies. I'll be doing, the usual bonus readings as well. We'll see what happens. But, what I would say here is that I would just make sure any situation, love, business, or otherwise, doesn't matter what it is, this is a general reading, that, you're seeing things for how they actually are. And you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles really, I feel, is your solution. Page of Pentacles says educate yourself. It's a card of studiousness. It's a card of learning and learning how to do things or learning the ins and outs of situations. You have the Page of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. This Page of Pentacles is super interesting to me because there's this dragonfly kind of like right here. And the dragonflies, the totem meaning for dragonflies can be like looking through a stained glass window. If you've ever looked through a dragonfly's wings, they kind of have that, iridescence or that shimmeriness to them, right? And so it can kind of represent having rose-colored glasses on. Again, you also have the 6 of Pentacles here, which is kind of equal give and take, needing to make sure that if you're putting energy into something, that you're being honest with yourself about what you get out, right? It's like sometimes I think we get into relationships where we do all the giving and the other person really does nothing, and, then we get hurt. So, I feel like this could be any situation. I'm actually not focused on anything in your reading. It could there's definitely love here, but I feel like this could be anything: love, business, health, pretty much anything. And that 6 of Pentacles is really saying to me that you need to make sure that you're putting energy into things and getting it out. I always say that 6 of Pentacles should be like a tennis match. You hit the ball to their side, they hit it to yours. Even in business, it's like, 6 of Pentacles to me can come up when we're not getting paid enough at work or our boss isn't giving us a raise or whatever. And really, your solution to that is the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands says, be bold, be assertive, stand up for yourself, and go for what you want. And I've been saying this all year. I'm going to be saying this until, 2030, probably, if I still have a YouTube channel, if YouTube still exists at that point, right? And what I would say is that we need to be bold. We need to be assertive because that's what the energy is requiring us to do. That's why I say it all the time. Also, it's like, have you ever seen the Queen of Wands in so many readings? I haven't. So, at least my readings, I have never seen her come up so much. And she really represents kind of like marching to the beat of your own drummer. She normally has a black cat in front of her. And that black cat, during the times of tarot, black cats were considered very unlucky. So by her having a black cat, it kind of says she doesn't care, obviously, what people think. She just cares about what she thinks. And if you can do that, you will be very, very successful. I do feel like you're very attractive at this time, and you have the Knight of Cups right next to her. So if you're like wanting love or wanting to attract love, I definitely feel that some of you could be attracting love at this time. We are going to clarify this with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. So that's what this clarification deck is. With the Page of Pentacles, you have this concentration card. Again, I feel like you're going to have to concentrate with that Smoke and Mirrors card and also that the Dragonfly on the Page of Pentacles. I feel like this is saying, like, look, there's even a star inside of a spider web here. I don't really feel you're, like, stepping into a trap or anything like that. I feel it's just saying any new situation that comes your way, job, business, or otherwise, make sure you're super clear. If you're getting a job, make sure you're clear about the raise schedule. Like if they have a raise schedule, like after 90 days, you get a raise if you stick around and you do this, that, and the other thing. I would like get it in writing, right? I feel like this is saying, make sure to get things in writing. Make sure to be very clear. Maybe you have an interview. get very clear with them and say, these are my expectations, right? Same thing in love as well. I'd be very clear about a person's expectations here. A couple of other signs that I've read for this month have had messages of like really need to be clear with people. It's like new love seems to be around. I've said it before. I'll say it again. In my 2022 readings, the end of the year just was like full of love in those readings. And so it doesn't surprise me that everybody's been getting a lot of love at the end of the year. But what I have been getting is that we need to be very clear with people about like what we're getting into. So I would just do that. With the Six of Pentacles, you have this isolation card. For some of you, see, I feel like you could be moving away from a person who breadcrumbed you here, Virgo, and you could just be moving towards something new. But it's kind of weird because just intuitively, I feel nothing on this card as well. I feel almost like I'm looking back, and I feel like you are just looking at past situations and realizing that maybe you didn't get what you deserve or you didn't get what you wanted out of a situation, could have felt isolated. And I feel like you're just avoiding it in the future. I don't really feel this is something you're necessarily dealing with right now. And with the Queen of Wands, you have this secrets card. So again, I would be careful of secrets from anyone. But at the same time, I feel very curious about this card. You have the Page of Pentacles as well. So I would say if you're interested in any like mysteries or anything that you're not sure about, again, I would do your research on anything that is kind of mysterious to you. That's actually kind of like a good card. It can say that there could be some like treasure or some gold in some mysteries that you're looking into. Like if you're trying to make more money, maybe you learn a secret to make more money or a trick. It doesn't really have to be a trick. It could be just regular old advice, but I would look into it. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this happy card. I feel that could be unexpected. Maybe you thought this month was going to suck. And I feel there could just be a lot of happiness or a lot of things that bring you happiness. You see here how she's sitting on this giant blue egg. I always feel like that's from that egg came out of her. And she's like way smaller than the egg. So to me, this card says that you have the ability to create something that's like much bigger than yourself, and it could create a lot of happiness. So for those of you that are thinking about starting something like new projects or businesses or just personal projects, if you're retired or even if you're not, I feel these projects could bring you a lot of happiness. You have the Death card, the Six of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. Clearly could also be love that's coming in that brings you a lot of happiness. This would be a Knight in Shining Armor. Pretty much every single person I read for lately has been getting like Knight of Cups or, cards that represent more significant love. I've talked about it before as well, that I think we're entering into a time where I'm not necessarily saying that more people will have relationships, but what I am saying is that I feel like the people that do have relationships will probably be getting them into them for the right reasons. So I don't really necessarily feel that like divorce rates are going down. I think that if you look at the numbers, maybe it looks like divorce rates are going down, but I actually feel that less people are getting married, but just more people are getting married for the right reasons. But again, I've been getting a lot of these cards of people coming in for the right reasons. So this could be a person who's like very attracted to you and they could be coming in for the right reason. Again, if you're focusing on any like projects, he's normally looking into his cup and he's imagining his future life. So a lot of you could be working towards things that just bring a lot of happiness into your life. You have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands, of course, is a card of success and excellence. It is the card of excellence. So I feel like you could be reaching new levels of success with the Six of Wands. And I also feel a lot of happiness on this card as well. Normally there are people who are cheering the person on. They're like on a horse on the Six of Wands and they're being cheered on by the people behind them. So I feel like you could be receiving a lot of like emotional support and just like kind words from the people around you. I feel like there are people who are very happy that you're like finding success as well. I'm also getting something about like coming around. Those are the words that are popping into my head. I feel like there are people who are kind of like starting to see things the way you do. It's almost like you're being validated, in some area of your life. I don't necessarily think we need validation, but when we get it, I feel like it feels good, right? So I kind of feel like you could be receiving some validation for some of your ideas or some of the things you're doing. And again, it could be leading to like raises, promotions, something that leads to happiness. And again, I feel like this could be unexpected. Next, you have this Death card, some sort of transformation. Every single reading I've done for you for like the past 3 years, you've been getting these cards with butterflies on them, right, Virgo? And so you've been going through a major transformation, I feel, more so than any of the other signs for a long time. And I really kind of feel like you're completing that transformation. I remember doing a reading for you recently as well, where it just kind of seems like your transformation is coming to an end. It's like your transformation is complete. And I feel like it's going to make you very happy. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Virgo. Let's see. With the death card, you have the lost card. You're the second sign. I can't remember who the other person was that had this same combination, but someone else had this same exact combination of death and this lost card. I don't think you're experiencing a loss. Again, death doesn't represent death, even though it's called death. That's not what it represents, really, just a transformation. I feel like for some of you, this is saying, again, it kind of makes sense because I feel like you've gotten everything out of a situation. You see how this bird is like pulling off like the last little bits of meat off of this skeleton. So I feel like you've gotten everything you can out of a situation and you're just like transforming with this energy. And I feel like there's nothing to go back over. Like if you're worrying, like, should I go back over and this, that, or the other thing? I would say no. I feel like it's time to move on. And sorry, there's like a little bug flying around here. With the Six of Wands, you have this caution card. The one thing I will say about the Six of Wands is that normally there is one person in the back of the Six of Wands who looks very, very jealous of the person who's on the horse. So what I would say is I would just avoid jealousy at all cost. I would avoid jealous people, jealous situations, and gossip, things like that. I would totally avoid it, especially we have Mars going retrograde at the end of the month. So to me, Mars retrograde always will come back and bite you in the ass if you're not careful. So I would definitely be careful of like gossip and things like that. I just wouldn't do it, right? And that's kind of what I feel like that is saying. It's like you're finding success. Don't mess it up. With the Knight of Cups, you have this inspiration card. You could be attracting a Pisces into your life. You have a lot of Pisces cards, Saturn and Pisces. You have this card here, which is Mercury and Pisces as well. Could be Scorpio, Gemini. You have fire. You have basically everything here, but Pisces is standing out to me. I feel like you could be attracting someone very inspiring to you. But again, I feel like you're inspiring people. Remember what I said about kind of like coming around. It's almost like people are coming around to the way, I'm not sure what the words I'm trying to say here are. It's almost like people are coming around to your way of thinking. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like people are seeing like what you see in the world. And I don't know, this could be very inspiring. You could be the one that is inspiring other people. Love it. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this June card, and you also have this Forest card. It says muddled, unclear thinking. Again, this is the good stuff, so it doesn't matter what shows up here. I actually feel, because it's the good stuff, that your thinking could be a lot more clear than it normally is. I do feel there could be some good things coming in around the June time frame. Every time I get one of these monthly cards, people always say June, and yes, June. This is the June card. So if you're going to leave a comment saying that it's October, yes, I get it. This is the June card right here, right? So I feel like there could be something coming up this coming June in your life. And it could be like some clarity that's coming in for you as well. I also feel like something about you developing your intuition here as well. You have the King of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Again, this is all positive. So I feel like you are walking away from things that no longer serve you. I don't know, like every single September reading I did was all about this. So you could be continuing your journey towards fulfillment. And again, to me, it's just a sign of the times. I feel like people are cutting things out that no longer serve them. I feel like we're kind of seeing both because technically we're kind of like in two worlds right now, I feel intuitively. So we could be seeing some people in our lives making the same old mistakes, and then we could be graduating. I think that we could be feeling sad about it, right? Because we could be seeing people that we want to bring along with us that just haven't graduated to our level. Yeah, this could be like exes, people from the past in general, friends, family, whatever. But, I don't know. I feel like you're moving forward here, Virgo. I really don't feel this is a bad thing. You could be feeling these moments of loneliness, I feel, on the Eight of Cups. Again, this is the good stuff. So it's going to be good, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it when I feel something. I read intuitively just because I call it the good stuff. If I feel something different, I'm going to talk about it. And what I would say here is that I do feel these moments of loneliness, and especially for those of you that have gotten out of a relationship, but I want to encourage you to keep going. I feel like what's on the other side is so much better. You have the Five of Wands. Again, as far as the good stuff is concerned with the Five of Wands, it can say that if there is any conflict or competition in your life, that you are rising above it, that you are the one that's becoming victorious, and you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is victory or being victorious. So I feel like there is some sort of victory coming in for you. This is also my card I call Indiana Jones. To me, it can represent going on some sort of crazy adventure and finding some treasure. So if there are any crazy adventures coming in for you, I feel there could be some abundance on the other side of that. You have the King of Swords here as well. King of Swords is a card of discernment and being very clear and level-headed. I kind of feel like this is an energy you're embracing right now. Even though we have all these retrogrades, I feel there's actually a lot of clarity coming in. I always tell people, it's like whenever we have these retrograde-heavy years, which we have right now, technically we have a lot of retrograde-heavy years. So like next year, technically we have kind of like 4 retrogrades because Mercury goes retrograde at the end of December into January, and then we have like 3 more. And then what's even worse is in 2024, we have like another retrograde heavy year because Mars will also be going retrograde in 2024. Kind of annoying. But what I would say here is that I feel like you're gaining a lot of clarity about life in general, and this is definitely going to be a good thing. So let's clarify this, and let's see where this is going for you, Virgo. With the King of Swords, you have this companionship card. Could be an air sign coming in for you with that King of Swords energy. Could just be someone who's very direct, level-headed, very clear-thinking type of person coming in for you. Could be a person who's older than you, although I always say, to me, that's not always true with the King of Swords. King of Swords can just represent maturity, and so it can just represent a person who's been through a lot of battles. I think we have 2 choices, right, in life, where if we go through a lot of battles, we can become bitter and angry and upset with all the challenges, or we can go the other direction and we can look at things as challenges, we can learn from them and grow from them. Like at the highest vibration possible, the King of Swords, when he is positive, when he is at that high vibration, has learned from all of his battles. He's learned from all his past heartbreaks and all those other things. So I feel like you could be attracting a person who's actually learned. It's like they've leveled up, and so that would be good as far as love is concerned, obviously. It could be a Libra as well. With the 5 of Wands, you have this adaptability card. Being adaptable is about like finding different ways of doing things. 5 of Wands is kind of like a spontaneous card. It's a card that says, again, like there are multiple ways to do the things that you want to do in life. So I feel like you're kind of open to that, and that's probably going to make you more successful. With the 8 of Cups, you have the devotion card. Love it. This is what you're moving towards. I feel like you're moving towards a person who's actually truly devoted to you. Like, look, this bird is dead, and this person's still waiting, this other bird. And very romantic card, right? How romantic is that? A dead bird, right? So I feel like for some of you, you could be attracting that person who's like devoted, till death do us part, literally. And maybe even at that, they'll be, bringing you flowers to your grave, right? Or I don't know. It depends on who dies first, right? But that's that. Love it. At the end here with your 5 main themes, you have this keep your life in balance. Again, I would balance things out. I do feel because of Neptune and Pisces, again, we could get sucked into things. Like, let's say we want love, but we're working on our business and then we get love. Make sure that the scales don't go too far the other way, where you want love so badly that you completely ignore your business, for example. I would just make sure to keep things in balance. That's all that's saying. Next, you have this bouquet card. It says compliments from an admirer. So there you go. Definitely could be an admirer coming in for you here. I also feel like some of you could be complimenting someone. Again, you have the Queen of Wands. Here's my thing with the Queen of Wands is sometimes we have to be a little bit more aggressive with the Queen of Wands ourselves, right? And so, if you have a person that you have your eye on, maybe you need to speak up or start flirting with the person or do something, right? Because, that's what I'm getting. Next, you have this heart card. It says love, deep affection, and caring. You also have this bridge. It says successfully overcoming a problem. So love it. I feel like you could be overcoming a lot of problems. I also feel like you could obviously be overcoming some problems that exist in your love life, and you could be healing those things with this card. But I definitely feel there could be love coming in for you. I also feel like there could obviously be a person who's coming in from like a distance, which a lot of people have been getting that. Here's the thing about that though, is that in my yearly readings that I did, like every single person had the 2 of Cups. And I was saying in those readings that 2 Cups to me can represent a person who's very different than your usual type. So could it be someone from a distance? Sure. But it could also just be a person who's different than your usual type. You have this clouds card. It says temporary problems. Again, I wouldn't get too excited about any problems at the end of this year because things are just not clear, period, plain and simple. So I wouldn't get too excited if you have something that goes wrong or doesn't work out. Either you'll get a second chance or like in the near future, right, by June timeframe because of that June card, or, things will kind of work themselves out. Just wouldn't worry about it. You also have this August card, and you also have this Vine card. It says seek out information that will help you. So you have a lot of time frame cards here. Again, for those of you not paying attention, this is the August card. That's why I'm saying August. And you also have this Vine card, which says, seek out information. We talked about this with the Page of Pentacles. Definitely a very strong energy of needing to do your research. I want to see what this card is as well. What do you know? Are you kidding? Butterfly right there. And it says a change for the better. So clearly there are some positive changes coming in for you. But that's that, Virgo. Looks pretty good. So we're going to pull 1, 2, and 3 yes, no, maybe cards. 1, 2, 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your questions. For question number 1, heck yes. Ace of Swords, definitely a victory coming in for you. Kind of feel like there could be some sort of truth being revealed, but it's not like someone was lying. I feel that this is a person who's coming in to be like, I love you. So there you go. You could also be doing that, and I feel like it would be a victory. For question number 2, I actually get no on this card with the 9 of Wands. I feel like you need to keep pushing forward. For some reason, intuitively, I feel like this is connected to that 8 of Cups. You've already started walking away from something. Don't turn back now. Those are literally the words I'm getting here. It's like you healed yourself to a point. You learned lessons. Don't turn back now. And for question number 3, yes, you have the Ace of Cups. So definitely love coming in for you. 2 aces, too. Love that. Very good for you. So thank you for being here, Virgo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.